I think it's a really good step in acknowledging specifically the degenerating feeling that comes from this hateful word.
So it was important to end the ambiguity, make a declarative statement about that word in particular.
Montreal's Lester B. Pearson School Board passed a resolution this week stating that racial slurs must never be uttered on their grounds, particularly the N-word.
Either it's a reprimand, a sanction, or it's an opportunity to educate.
The decision, which will affect more than 23,000 students and more than 50 schools, comes not long after a teacher at Henri Bourassa High School in Montreal North was suspended after being recorded using offensive slurs in class directed at several ethnic and religious groups.
Banning a word, immediately you think of sanctions and repercussions. I prefer to see it as a way that we can educate people from early on about, the cultural significance of the word and why it's so hateful, and ways that we can learn to do better.
I think that what they're trying to do is to protect all kids and say, this is a dignified place and we're not going to have children exposed to words that could be harmful to them.
Last year, after a video circulated online of 2 Pointe-Claire schoolgirls in blackface, the school board put in place a task force on equity and inclusivity, which did not participate in drafting or presenting this resolution.
I do believe, having said that you have to contextualize it. You have to say what things mean. And they're books. I don't believe in banning books, for example. But I do believe that if you are going to teach a book, you should contextualize it. The students should be warned and they should be told what to expect. And it has to be put within a historical frame.
It's not a magic bullet that because we ban the N-word, people are not going to be racist. So it's an educational process that we need to educate young people about the impacts of racism.
The school board says the resolution serves to clearly state their position against racism. It will not be imposing sanctions for uttering the N-word, leaving that up to each individual school. The Montreal School Board has been organizing workshops and seminars for students dealing on subjects such as white privilege, entitlement, and in particular, the impact over time racial slurs have on communities.
It's very clear now where the school board stands on it, and it's a lot less difficult for administrators to maybe excuse it away or not handle it in a way that is satisfactory to the student or their parents.
If 2 students are using it and they are like 2 Black students, is this just another way of targeting us? I'm a bit concerned about that, but again, I think that should be alleviated by the fact that the language shouldn't be tolerated full stop in the school anyway. So
when they do say it, there should be repercussions for it. But I do think we do need to learn about it and why there are repercussions specifically. We need that historical context to understand it in order to be anti-racist.
In Montreal, Sacha Obas, City News.